Okay, if you've tried to see a home recently and a realtor told you that you have to sign something before they'll even unlock the door, you're not crazy. This is new. And honestly, a lot of people are explaining it really, really badly. So in this video, I'm going to break it down. I'm going to break down what actually changed, what is required and what is not required, and what should be happening before you sign anything. So you do not get pressured into signing something you don't understand. And if you're buying in the Yakima area or anywhere nearby and you want someone who actually walks you through this step by step, my info is below. So first, let's talk about what changed. Big picture, there was a major lawsuit that changed how realtors get paid, kind of. It didn't change how most of us got paid, it just changes how we present that information. And because of that, this is now federal law. That's really important for you to understand. This is not something your realtor is just choosing to do. This is something that we are required to do. Now, in simple terms, compensation has to be agreed to upfront. An agency has to be established in writing before providing any agency services. So instead of things being kind of behind the scenes, often we weren't getting this paperwork signed until it was time to write a contract with somebody. Everything is now front and center in the process. So what a buyer broker agreement actually is, a good way to think of it is it's like hiring a realtor. It lays out who you're working with, how they get paid, what they're responsible for, and how long you plan to work together. This is really similar to how a listing agreement is signed. A realtor would never, ever work on a listing that they didn't have a signed agreement for, right? It's now the same on the buyer side. We are just agreeing on our relationship before we start providing services. So the simple version, it's not about the house, it's about the relationship. The number one thing I hear about this is I've bought a house before and I never had to sign anything like this. And honestly, that is probably true. Most markets did not require this before. Now, Washington State, where I live, actually implemented it a little bit earlier ahead of the federal lawsuit. We were like a year ahead of it. And honestly, most markets in Washington were doing this as a best practice, but now it's definitely nationwide. Should be. Federal law. So yes, you may never have had to do it before. But now, if you want someone to represent you and look out for your best interests, this has to be in place. So now let's talk a little bit about what is required and what isn't required, because this is where people get a little tripped up, even realtors sometimes. A signed agreement before touring homes with an agent who represents you is required. Clear compensation terms is required. What is not required is you do not have to sign a long-term contract. You do not have to commit to one agent forever. And you do not have to sign it without understanding it. And this is the part that I do wish more people knew, and that is that you can limit the scope of the agreement. You can limit a buyer agency agreement in a lot of ways. You can limit it to one house, one day, one weekend, a specific time frame, a specific area. And when I'm meeting with buyers, oftentimes I do call it a trial run. I say, hey, let's go look at a couple of homes this weekend and see if we even like working together. And we have an easy out if we don't, because it expires in 3 days. And if it expires, great, you're not tied to anything. And if we want to keep going, we just sign another one. Usually when we are really making a commitment to work together, I like to sign mine. Depending on the type of home and the price point someone's looking in, we might be looking between 2 months and 6 months, sometimes even longer. And we just know we can always sign another one. And that's how this should be used. I also let my clients know that at any time they can let me know in writing that they would like to sever our agency relationship. As long as we are not in contract on something together, I'm going to respect that choice, but we do need to sever that relationship in writing if we do have an active agency agreement. Technically, both parties do have to agree to that. I let my clients know that, hey, it's going to be no harm, no foul for me. If we're not a good fit, we're not a good fit, and it's not going to be fun for either one of us. And next, I want to talk about something that not enough agents are talking about. Safety is a really big part of this too. It's actually April when I'm recording this, which is Realtor Safety Month. And if I have someone who called me on the phone, they want to see a house, and they will not even meet me at my office before asking me to meet them alone at a house so I can get a buyer agency agreement signed to at least show them that property, go over rules of engagement, that kind of thing. If they are not willing to meet me in my office first, that's a red flag for me. So personally, if you're not a referral, not a repeat client, or not someone I already know in my sphere and in my personal life, I am not meeting you at a property first. And this agreement is part of creating a professional, safe environment for everyone involved. So the second biggest concern I hear when we start talking about this is compensation. What if the seller doesn't pay you? Am I on the hook for that? And that's a very fair question. You are going to have to navigate that conversation with your agent in particular, but here's how I explain it. You, as the buyer, have control over what homes we go and see. I can ask ahead of time what the seller is offering, and we can target homes that align with that if you do not have money to pay out of pocket. And if there is a home that you want to see that does not align with the compensation needs that you have, we can negotiate compensation into the contract. In our market, most sellers are still covering most, if not all, of the compensation. But the key difference now is it's not assumed and it's discussed up front. So this part matters. Before the lawsuit, this conversation often happened later in the process or not at all. Good realtors were talking about this up front. Good realtors were being transparent with how they were paid. I know I had buyer consultations and I walked through these things ahead of time. The common things were in our market, how it worked, everything like that. But now it's across the board and it's required. It's upfront, it's transparent, and there should be no surprises later. And honestly, that is better for you as the buyer. That's why most of us, good realtors, we're doing it to begin with. Now, this next part is the part I care about the most as your realtor. Just because this is required does not mean it should be rushed. Before you sign anything, your agent should sit down with you and actually talk to you about your goals, not just what's your price range, but your lifetime goals, your timeline, your finances. What is it that you actually want? They should also be explaining their compensation clearly. You should not feel confused about who might be paying what, and they should walk through the agreement with you, line by line, if needed or necessary. Most of my clients say it's okay to give them the Reader's Digest version, and that's what I do. They should also be giving you options. You have the option to make it more short term. You have the option to limit the scope, and you have the option for a trial run to see if you even want to work with this person long term. And the next thing that's important that should happen before you sign this person should be earning your business. This should feel like hiring someone, not being locked into something. I will also say this, I am seeing agents out there who are not explaining this properly or not getting these signed at all. And I have had buyers come up to me and say, well, the agent I went and saw houses with last weekend said I didn't have to sign anything, or I didn't have to sign anything with the last agent I talked to. And my honest answer is you should have, unless they were the listing agent for the property you were viewing, in which case they're also not looking out for your best interest. But if they were saying that they were working on your behalf and they weren't the listing agent for the property, they should have gotten something signed because this is federal law. So I am pretty firm on how I structure my agreements with my clients because part of my job is to be a negotiator and a fiduciary to my clients. And if I am not willing to stand firm on my own value, what am I going to do when it's your money on the line? But at the same time, I also believe you should fully understand what you're signing and feel good about who you are working with. So yes, you may need to sign something before seeing homes now, but the bigger question is, are you signing with the right person? If you want someone who walks you through all of this step by step, explains everything, and helps you make smart decisions, not rushed ones, reach out. CorieBurke@gmail.com. I'd love to help. And if this was helpful, make sure you subscribe because I break down this kind of stuff every single week. And if you're going to hang out a little bit longer, YouTube thinks you might like this video next. See you in the next one.